Hello, everyone, and welcome. In today's lesson, we will talk about work. In general, we will see many prepositions and gerunds, a cover letter, also an example of a cover letter, and how to ask polite questions. Let's start. It is difficult to work a 9 to 5 job when you have young children. A 9 to 5 job means a job with regular hours. Our employees are qualified and also have hands-on experience. Hands-on experience means the knowledge and skill gained through doing something yourself. It is a way to describe your experience, okay? You can say hands-on experience. It's like practical experience. Next one. My career really took off after I got that first big deal. Take off means suddenly begin to have more success. Remember this phrasal verb take off, we use it when we are talking about a plane. The plane takes off, يعني طيارة تقلع. So it's like we make an analogy between the plane and our career here. Next one. I worked my way up from the bottom of the career ladder. Bottom of the career ladder means a position with the lowest level. So it's the bottom. البottom والأسفل. We know that we're talking here about the lowest level of responsibility or compensation. About responsibility and also compensation. We're talking about the salary here. He was fired for stealing goods from the warehouse. He was fired. To be fired or to fire someone, it means to force someone to leave. To be fired, it means to be forced to leave your job for doing something wrong. We've built a positive working environment for our staff. Working environment, here we're talking about the conditions in which you work. Environment is a very big word. We use it when we're talking about nature, about the place we grew up in, okay? Like the family, it can be an environment also, but here we're talking about work environment. Have you ever held a position in management? Have you ever held a position in management? To hold a position, it means to have a job. Okay? It's like when Arabic say تمسك المركز. Okay? Her chosen career path meant she worked abroad a lot. Her chosen career path. Career path means progression within a profession. Progression within a work, the development, the progression in a job or through a series of jobs. I'm going to college, so I don't have to get a dead-end job. A dead-end job is a position without many prospects. It can be a very, very boring job. It is very limited. Many people were laid off from the factory. Many people were laid off from the factory. Laid off or made redundant, it means made to leave a job because there is not enough work available. Like we say in Arabic, تسريح, okay? When there are no jobs, many employees should leave work. We have more here. I'm stepping down to let another person do the job. I'm stepping down. We can use this, by the way, in many different contexts. To step down means to stop doing a job voluntarily. To stop doing a job voluntarily. We've set our sights on being number one in our industry. We've set our sights, it means to set your sights on something, aim to achieve a particular goal. It's very similar to the Arabic when we say تحط عينك على حاجة. So it's definitely the same. We took on 3 new members of staff this year. We took on 3 new members of staff this year. Take somebody on or take on somebody, it means to employ somebody, to employ or to recruit. Next one. She must have her hands full with those 4 children. She must have her hands full. To have your hands full, it means to be busy with a task or many tasks. He always goes the extra mile to ensure deliveries are on time. He always goes the extra mile to ensure deliveries are on time. Goes the extra mile. To go the extra mile means to do more than you are required to do. When you say extra يعني تعمل الزيت, okay? Not what they ask you to do, no, but more. We had to tackle this problem head on before it got worse. We had to tackle this problem head on before it got worse. Tackle something head on, it means deal with something directly. Head on and directly, face to face. You need to work hard to get ahead in this industry. You need to work hard to get ahead in this industry. Get ahead means make more progress than others. Make more progress than others. I'm sorry, I didn't answer your email. I was snowed under. Snowed under. It's like an image that the snow is snowing on you. So you are snowed under. You have too much work to do. It's like you are covered with something, with work here. I can't come out because I'm up to my eyes with work. I can't come out because I'm up to my eyes with work. Be up to your eyes or ears means to be busy, so busy that you can take on anything else. Like we say in Arabic, راني مشنوق العينية, while doing something. Okay, so very busy, extremely busy. The deal involved give and take on both sides. Give and take here, it means to compromise. Okay, so now we will see the prepositions and gerunds. In English, prepositions can only be followed by a noun phrase or gerund. This is particularly important when talking about the order of events. So, after graduating, I worked in a hospital. After, which is preposition, plus gerunds, اللي هي graduating. If you want to use a verb after preposition, it has to be a gerund, which is the ing form of a verb. Okay, it's like graduating, swimming, looking, studying, sleeping. This is a gerund. Let's see more examples here. Instead of applying for a job, I went to college. After seeing the job listing, I wrote a cover letter. After seeing the job listing, I wrote a cover letter. Let's do this exercise now together. Fill in the gaps using the words in the panel. We have many words here: qualifying, attending, instead of, passing, before. Since attending some training sessions, I feel more confident about my work. Number one, seeing that job listing, I thought I would never find my perfect job. Before seeing that job listing, I thought I would never find my perfect job. Number two, after, as an engineer, I volunteered in Cambodia. After qualifying as an engineer, I volunteered in Cambodia. Number three, working in a low-paid job, I decided to train as an accountant. Instead of working in a low-paid job, I decided to train as an accountant. Number four, without my exams, it would be difficult to have a decent career. A decent career يعني career محترم. Without passing my exams, it would be difficult to have a decent career. Very good. Let's see this cover letter example. Let's read it together and then we will answer the questions. Dear Mrs. Evans, I'm writing to apply for the social media marketing assistant post advertised in Social Journal. Please find attached a copy of my resume for your consideration. I have recently completed a degree in digital marketing, which has prepared me well for this position and has made me very enthusiastic about working in this area. As well as providing strong theoretical grounding, it required a great deal of practical research and initiative. One of the courses, Social Media Marketing in the 21st Century, was particularly relevant to this position. As part of a project for this course, I developed and managed a social media campaign for a soft drinks company. I have a keen interest in following developments in digital marketing, and I'm very creative as well as having a good eye for detail and accuracy. I would be able to take the position immediately. Thank you for taking the time to consider my application, and I look forward to hearing from you in the near future. Yours sincerely, A. Williams. Alice Williams. Let's read here the sentences or the statements and we'll answer if they are true, false, or not given, which means are not available for us. The job was advertised in the local job center. False. Alice's degree was in social media marketing in the 21st century. It is false. Her degree was a mixture of theory and practical training. That's true. Her degree was a mixture of theory and practical training. Number three, Alice did some voluntary work while studying. This information is not given here. Number four, a project Alice did was similar to this job. That's true. A project Alice did was similar to this job. Yes. Number five, Alice is very creative, but less interested in details. That's false. She's very interested in details. Number six, Alice would be happy to start on a low salary. That's not giving in the cover letter. Now let's match the definitions to the phrases. The first one is made for us. Has a very close connection. Is particularly relevant. Yes. Number one, sharp and enthusiastic. When you are sharp and enthusiastic about something, it means you are keen. Keen. Number two, Be good at noticing small things. To have an eye for detail. To have an eye for detail. Number 3, job, post. Job is a post, or we can say also a position. Number 4, soon. Soon, it means in the near future. In the near future. Number 5, start the job. Take the position. Start a job or take the position. Very good. Let's mark the more formal sentences in each pair. You know, at work, we usually need to speak formally and to write formally. We have to be careful, okay, with the sentences we need to use here. I spent ages working in retail, even though I didn't like it. That's false. You're supposed to say, I worked in retail for many years, then looked for a career change. Number 1. The job was quite challenging in terms of improving the customer experience. Or, the shop floor was a real nightmare and my boss wasn't very nice at all. Of course, number 1 is the best one. The job was quite challenging in terms of improving the customer experience. Number 2. I went with my mates on holiday to Vietnam and we did some volunteer stuff. Or, I traveled to Vietnam where I volunteered for a number of educational projects. Of course, number 2 is the best one. I traveled to Vietnam where I volunteered for a number of educational projects. This is very formal, but if you say volunteer stuff, if you use the word stuff, stuff is very informal word, okay? At least you can say things, you don't say stuff. Number 3, I did loads of courses about what to do in a fire and how to write risk assessments. Or, I'm a qualified fire warden and I'm trained in writing risk assessments. The best one is the second one. I am a qualified fire warden and I'm trained in writing risk assessments. And the last one, number 4, I have an in-depth knowledge of real estate due to having 8 years experience. I know lots of things about selling houses because I've been doing it for ages. Of course, number 1 is the correct answer. It is more formal. Let's see how to ask polite open questions. When we say open questions, you don't ask about something in particular, okay? If an indirect question contains to be, this verb comes after the subject. Let's see the example here. What are your career goals? What are your career goals? If you will ask now an indirect question, the verb will come after the subject. يعني باش تتقلب لنا تولي لي مثلا to use a polite questions we usually start with one of these phrases, okay? It's like, could you tell me, تنجم تقولي could you tell me what we don't say here what are your career goals. No. The verb should be after the subject. So, could you tell me what your career goals are? What your career goals are? Let's see the next one. What have you designed before? I was wondering what you have designed before. I was wondering, it's like أتساءل. Okay? What you have designed before. كيف هنا with the verb to have, it's the same thing. Alright? The verb to have comes after the subject, not before the subject. And the last one. Why do you enjoy working in fashion? I'd like to know, نحب نعرف, I'd like to know why you enjoy working in fashion. The auxiliary verb to do does not appear in indirect questions. Okay? So we remove it. Not after the subject, not before the subject, we remove it completely. Okay? Now let's do this exercise together. We'll rewrite the direct questions as indirect questions, which are, as I said before, very polite. What are your strengths? Could you tell me what your strengths are? Number one, when are you available? I was wondering when you are available. When you are available. Number two, why have you applied for this job? I'd like to know why you have applied for this job. Why you have applied for this job. Number three, what is our best-selling product? Do you have any idea what our best-selling product is? What our best-selling product is? Number four, who was your last manager? I'm curious to know who your last manager was. Who your last manager was. That's it for today. Thank you so much for your attention and see you soon. Goodbye.